Well, welcome back to SAFC Live. Sunderland have come out of today's game with a point, Danny. Do you think that's a fair result?
In the end, I do, yeah. I don't think either team did enough to win it, although we finished the game stronger last 10-15 minutes. And just coming back down pitch side there, a few fans have said, where was that energy in the second half, what we showed in the last 10 minutes? Now, made a few changes, obviously, brought a little bit more energy to it. But it was just a scrappy game, really, wasn't it, throughout the first half as a whole, and then even the 10-15 minutes of the second half, we said it, I mean, the quality didn't really improve. Their goal summed it up for me.
Yeah, let's have a look back at the highlights from today's game and we can discuss what we just saw over the course of 90 minutes. It was a game which was lacking the kind of intensity we saw in the last 7 or 8 minutes, really, didn't it? And I mean, if we had that for 90, no one would have gone away and said, oh, you know, it's a bit of a weird one that today, but it was a bit of a weird game, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, and you know, to be fair, you wouldn't expect that throughout the 90, but certainly for us to dominate the ball a little bit more than we did and to be tidy, because we've seen that throughout the season, haven't we, as a whole. But yeah, just trying to get Patrick, I said there, Patrick and Jack, trying to get them into the game. We've seen them in fits and starts, really, in that first half, and you know what Jack's capable of when he gets into these positions, and as I said, Patrick on the other side as well, and I expected more from them. You know, I thought Bell was their best player. Involved here and obviously involved in the penalty as well, but we'll see in a minute. But he kept on picking the ball up, driving across the pitch. Didn't really want to use his right foot here, and you perhaps see why he's off balance and gets it wrong. But yeah, they didn't create too much in that first half. Credit to, I've just said there at the end of the game on comms, credit to Dan Ballard, Danny Bart, the whole back four really. I thought they were excellent, albeit didn't have to do a lot of last-ditch defending as such, more so on Wednesday night of what we've seen. But yeah, there's our best opportunity there in the first half. Dan Neil comes out to him there. Jack does well down that left, sucks a couple of players in.
There was a couple of times in the first half, Danny, where we showed a little bit of composure and we actually looked decent, didn't we?
Yeah,
on the ball?
I think so. Yeah, I remember saying, we're getting on the ball a little bit now, but it was just taking care on it a little bit more. Those 10-yard balls, we were either wayward passes or under-hitting it, over-hitting it, putting each other in a little bit of under pressure.
And we're not being negative about Sunderland here, because Luton were doing exactly
the same. Yeah, you know, for a team who was sat in fourth and going really well, I know they've been chalking off obviously a lot of 1-0 wins, and then you think when they get themselves in front of another one, but credit to the boys, you know, massive credit in fact that we got back into it there when it looked like the game was perhaps going to fizzle out. But yeah, just I come here today expecting a little bit more from it. I know they go direct, and why wouldn't you when you've got 2 6'4" strikers at the top end of the pitch, and then play a bit more in the final third? But they didn't do that. But I say Dan Ballard won 90% of his headers up against Adebayo there, and they found it difficult as a result to get into the game, really.
Yeah, were you expecting more of a kind of Sheffield United approach from Luton this afternoon?
Not so much in terms of the way they play. Sheffield United all get it down, pop it round 3-5-2, know their shape well, and
but they like flooding the box, don't they, Luton? We didn't see much of that.
Yeah, but no, there's different ways of getting the ball forward, isn't there? Say they're Sheffield United, they passed it well, they played through the thirds, whereas these were a little bit more direct. You can see from the kick-off it sums up how they like to play. They went back to the centre half, long ball forward, getting the bits. But you know, long throw-ins, it slows the game down. It suited them more than what it does us. When we're at our best, there's a flow to the game, isn't there? That wasn't really there as a whole. You know, I keep saying there, you're getting Patrick into the game. And credit to Patrick, he kept on going as well. Setting off, he was picking the ball up, trying to drive forward and get us going. And obviously Ahmad coming on, and the other substitutions who I've mentioned there. Jefferson, I thought was lively, coming off the bench.
He made those changes quite early, didn't he? Following the Luton goal, really, he just rolled the dice, Tony Mowbray, didn't he, and put 4 on at once at one point. Ahmad was already on. Yeah, and credit as well, he changed the shape. You know, saying Trey Hume coming off, and that obviously wasn't a reflection of his performance, because I thought he was excellent again. Trey defended really well in 1v1 situations, but it was just to change that shape. You know, brought Linden on left wing back, Patrick over on that right hand side. Pierre Ekwar, I thought perhaps had his best showing for us so far. Neat and tidy on the ball, recycling possession. And then you've got Ahmad, I've said Jefferson up the top end, Pritchard coming on, these type of players who can affect games. And I thought that was the case in that last 10-15 minutes or so. Can we just see where the foul was there? You just seen that? It was about, look at this, look where the foul is. Well, the initial contact
maybe a couple of yards, it's over the back. But we've got to stop giving these. We've conceded 3. Well, this isn't a direct from the free kick as such, ball getting whipped in. But we've conceded 1 against Stoke, 1 on Wednesday night, which was obviously found its way into the back of the net, and that one there, and as a result we're conceding goals from it. I don't think it's took a deflection. Everyone is a little bit deep there, but I think what Tony Mowbray will be disappointed with more so is that we haven't got out to the ball, we haven't read it edge of the box, they've played it short, so it took a little nick off somebody, I'm not sure. If it is, apologies to Anthony Patterson there, but he'll be disappointed. Listen, it's gone through him. It's on him a little bit quick maybe, and it's gone through his legs, so he'll be disappointed conceding that. But as I said there, I thought we rallied after that. We actually got on the front foot straight away after conceding the goal there. And this was a scrappy one, wasn't it? And Luke O'Nine's had an effort.
There was quite a lot of scrappy play, especially in the second half. In and around their area, though, mainly.
Yeah, it was. And I thought they made one or two changes themselves, but I thought they looked a little bit leggy towards the end of the game. And I think happy to take the point. Yes, they've got themselves in front, but once we scored from the penalty spot, and there's 5 minutes then plus the stoppage, so 10 minutes to go. It looked like we were going to be this side that were going to go on to win it. And yeah, there's Tom Lockyer there arguing again. He just seemed to be on the ref's case all game, didn't he? And moaning even at the end of the game there. His teammates and his coaching staff are waving him away. I don't know if he thinks that's a foul there, but it goes down. He actually recovers well, gets the challenge in and defends it well. Yeah, this one for Joe Gellard, it just sits up, ball played into him from Jack Clark, and it just pops up there and he gets the strike away, but has to wait for it to drop. You see now, if he kills that dead there, he's pulling the trigger, but then see the 2 or 3 bodies around him and drags the shot past that right-hand side post. But in terms of testing the goalkeeper, he hasn't had too many saves to make, has he, this afternoon? One from Luke O'Nine, what we've seen. That one's given offside there. Just having another look at it, it's tight, isn't it? And he did take a while to put his flag up the linesman on the far side. Yeah, maybe just. Give him credit there, good call on the far side.
Oh, I will give him the benefit on that one. This is Jefferson Bennett causing problems when he came on.
Yeah, lively, pulling out to that right hand side really. So you've got Jefferson, more often than not we see him coming on the left, anybody went up front, but went over onto that right hand side, driving forward there. Ahmad, who likes to play out that side, Patrick of course, all left footed, and we did see a lot of play building from that side, didn't we? And that one there, Jefferson Bennett, comes in on his left foot, doesn't he, but doesn't really get the contact he's looking for to trouble the goalkeeper. I thought at first did it take a deflection to take the pace out of it, but I don't think it does. It's good to see.
He was good and lively, wasn't he, when he came on, Jefferson?
That's what Tony Mowbray wants, looking for a reaction. But here we go now onto the penalty. Give and go, isn't it? Ahmad into...
So that's the angle we saw
it from. Well, he's into Alex Pritchard. Look, they haven't given it there. Just have a look at it back now.
He didn't even move the
into
referee.
There. Keep your eye on it there. I'm not sure if he
it's
palms
more
him off.
A forward push.
A little gentle push. From this
Bell.
one, they stay in the picture. He's got his arm on it. I don't know. Listen, if I'm Bell there, and I thought he was their best player, I'm a left back in that situation. I'm going home now. I'm thinking that's harsh, that very harsh, but we'll take it. We're saying there we didn't get the one on Wednesday, Sanderberg handball, which should have been given. It wasn't. So a few days later we'll take that one, and it got us the goal and gets us back in it. Lovely penalty, by the way, great strike. Don't think any goalkeeper's saving that. And then the tails were up the boys then last 10 minutes or so after that, including the stoppage time. A lot of ball going in there. I think we'll see the one maybe where cross coming from Linden, Dan Ballard's coming in there, keeper does well, and then see Ahmad delighted back on the pitch, back amongst the goals. Yeah, this is the one now. Linden, little step over, stands it up, and another yard on there. Keeper's just about got his gloves on there. So yeah, finished the game strong. So a lot of positives to take from that in terms of the last 15 minutes, substitutions, way we've finished the game. And I thought it was a deserved point in the end.
Yes, that was the action from this afternoon. If we can have a look at the other scores in and around the Championship this afternoon, please. And there we go. Blackpool 1, Coventry 4, Middlesbrough 3, Preston 0, Millwall 0, Huddersfield 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0, Birmingham City 1, Reading 1, Hull City 1, Rotherham 0, Cardiff City 1, Stoke 0-0 with Norwich, Watford 1-1 with Wigan. We understand that Rotherham's game may have been postponed because of weather. Right. So you don't see that very often these days. Let's see what that does for the league table then. Grasscutters are out behind us. Sunderland move up a place to 11th with that point. Watford above them on 55, reading upwards again. West Brom, Coventry, Norwich City, Millwall, Blackburn, today's opponents. Luton losing ground on Middlesbrough.
Yeah, they are there, and I think Middlesbrough again, it was 3-0, wasn't it? Flying at this moment in time, and still got a few games to go. Try and catch Sheffield United. Obviously not involved today. I think they're in the FA Cup, aren't they? So, yeah, but just looking at ourselves there, just tucked in the middle of the pack, really, aren't we? perhaps if we're honest now, you're looking at playoffs getting away from us. A couple of big teams in there, West Brom, Watford, pushing, Norwich, Luton hanging on in there. So credit to them, and Millwall as well. So we've got to keep on going now. Little break, isn't it? And then we look forward to trip to Burnley.
Yes, we have. We've got the international break, but before we get there, we will have the hashtag Ask Danny's then, please. We'll start with this one from Andrew. A bit worried about the rumours of Leicester interested in Patterson today, given he could be our first choice keeper for the next 15 years. Surely only a crazy offer would tempt us.
Well, depends what you refer to as a crazy offer at first. I think the club will have a figure in mind. I've obviously seen the rumours, if you want to call them that, of clubs being interested in Anthony Patterson, and rightly so. I think overall he's had a good season. Might look at his goal today, and could he have done a little bit more? He'll probably think so himself. But
going to win on international duty as well. That'll only raise his profile.
Yeah, it will do. Yeah, so they'll put that into consideration. And obviously, if he gets away, he's playing games for England, coming back here. He's saying that playing for ourselves for the next 15 years. Ideally, you'd love that if we get promoted as a club and playing in the Premier League, then that'd be the case. But if a club comes knocking and the price is right, that the board feel what he's worth, then they'll perhaps look to move him on, and it's what we're replacing with then.
Let's have a look at your next thought here on hashtag Ask Danny. From Graham, it says, Danny, do you think it's been a good season for us so far?
On a whole, it's been excellent, yeah. Coming up from the Championship, from League One to the Championship, we said it, we came in through the back door in a way, didn't we? Playoffs, had to really graft to make it to Wembley in the end. Got there finally at 4 years in League One. And then look where we've been all season, in and around the playoffs. So I think a lot of fans certainly would have taken that at the start of the season. We've said it before, I would have took anywhere from 12th to 18th. But in the last few weeks, the wheels have come off slightly. You look at obviously injuries throughout the season, losing your main strikers, Ellis Sims going back to Everton,
captain
Corey Evans missing out, so experience in the team, which is few and far between. You take Danny Bart out of it, who's 32, I think Danny is. We're a young team. Credit to the boys, they've battled on. Left back situation, we've spoke to Dennis earlier on, we've lost Adji Elise as well now, so Luke's having to fill in there. You could go on and on through the team really. It's been a good season. Just it feels a little bit deflated in the last few weeks, if we're honest, though, where we fell away. The wins have dried up, obviously, bar the one at Norwich last weekend. But we keep on going into the single for 8 games to go. I think that was it. Got to keep on going, pick as many points up as we can, and then we look forward to go again next season.
Let's have a look at another thought here on hashtag Ask Danny. This one's from Acacia. What a chance that would have been for Dan Neil to get a goal. Unlucky by hitting the post. He's obviously referring to that incident in the first half. A bit of composure, opened his body up and he curled one in. Just didn't go the right side of the post.
Yeah, he's done everything right, hasn't he? But another 6 or so inches inside that post. There it is, back now. Yeah, I think Jack does well, sucks a couple of players in down that left hand side, and nobody's picking Dan up. Takes a touch, good first touch out of his feet, sets himself, and then the keeper's rooted. Look, in that far corner, unfortunately, let's say 6 or 8 inches to the right hand side. As we look at it there, it's dropping in the back of the net, and I think he's got 2 goals this season, Dan. And something going back to what I've mentioned there in terms of injuries, I think he's been hampered in terms of getting forward, Dan, from the position he's had to play in recent weeks. If he's got Corey, who's the natural sitter in the squad, sits a little bit deeper, gives Dan the licence to get forward, and I think Dan's capable of developing his game over the next few years. Now he's still 21, Dan, isn't he? A young lad, first season at this level, get himself between 5 to 10 goals a season. That's what he's capable of moving forward.
So look at another thought then on hashtag Ask Danny. This one comes from Graham. It says, do you think we should take up the offer to buy Edouard Michou? He's been playing well of late, hasn't he, Edouard?
Yeah, he's getting himself a run in the team, hasn't he? Got his first goal for the club on Wednesday night. A lovely strike as well. And I just think, what I'm seeing about his game, what I like, is he's taking the ball in tight areas, and he's got a little bit of a drive about him, just that 5-yard zip to get away from people. But he's still growing. I think he's 19, isn't he? Looks about 14, but he's a slight figure, but he's nimble. He takes the ball well, and obviously from where he's come from, he's playing with excellent players and top-class players, so he's going to develop his game.
Would you like to see him next season at Sunderland?
It's a good question, yeah. Obviously, that's up to the board, what they're seeing moving forward. I think he's obviously the type of player who fits the bill and the mould.
He's getting better with every game.
And exactly that, yeah. Like a few of the others, had to wait for a run in the team. Maybe a little bit frustrated at the lack of game time earlier on, but obviously work hard in training, one or two injuries in his position, and he's had his opportunity. It's just that obviously, I just mentioned Dan Neil there. You've got a 19-year-old and a 21-year-old playing alongside each other as the engine room of the team.
Yep.
I think obviously you'd like Corey in there. Maybe you play the three of them together if you maybe play a 4-3-3. But that's not the case. But they've got on with it, and they've shown again today at times what they're capable of. So, yeah, whether we take him in the summer, that's obviously up to the people upstairs. But I think it'd be a good addition moving forward.
Okay, let's have a look at what will be the final thought this afternoon from Andrew. Given we are unlikely to reach the playoffs or get relegated, how would you best use the remaining games, Danny? Have you been in a similar position yourself?
Well, in terms of, from what you're saying there, is don't just let the season fizzle out. I said it upstairs there. You train all week. What do you look forward to as a player? It's crossing that white line on a Saturday or a midweek and putting the shirt on and going out there and playing games of football. You're still completing for a shirt. You're looking forward to next season. You're in the manager's minds. You know, you do well there. He's into the summer then thinking, do you know what, he finished the season well. I'm looking forward to working with him next season. There's a lot. I'm always of that mentality. There's a game of football means everything. Whether pre-season, people say it's just a pre-season game. Not for me. You're out there in pre-season. You're looking to impress the manager to get the shirt for the first team for the first game of the season, and then similar for me now. End of the season. Was it 7 or 8 games to go still? You're still working hard. Some players might be playing for a contract. You've just got to keep on working hard day to day on the training pitch, and then looking forward to next season. And you want to be starting next year in the manager's mind. First game of the season, right? I want him in there because he's been excellent towards the end of last season, and he's worked hard at pre-season as well.
Okay, Danny, thanks for your thoughts, and thanks for yours as well around the world this afternoon here on #AskDanny, the post-game programme. We will be back soon. There's an international break, and then we're back. It's our Friday evening game, isn't it? Against
it is, yeah.
Burnley.
Burnley away, yeah.
Yes, so we'll be back for that one after the international break. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you soon.